I want to buy an investment condo. That is the most common statement I hear from new prospective clients after they book a call with me using the link in the description below. And the most common reason that they want to buy this investment property is that they want cash flow. That's right. Thousands of Canadians just like you go to work every single day to scrimp and save, not only to pay off their mortgages on their principal residences, but then they save up the minimum 20% down for an investment in hopes of buying a pre-sale or investment condo so they could take advantage of some passive income that would be a result of their hard work after saving up for a down payment, sometimes for as long as 10 years. But what they don't realize is that investors here in my market of Surrey BC lose money on their purchases. And if that you are looking for cash flow, well, you had better be looking in other provinces. Yes, that's right. BC real estate investors not only know they are going to lose money, but in fact, they choose to do it on a monthly basis. And I'm going to tell you why in today's video, but not until after I ask you to subscribe to the channel to help me beat Tom's Story to 10,000 subscribers, because the only thing I want in life right now is to beat Tom. And the best way you can help me make that happen is to also click the like button so YouTube knows to send this video out to more people just like you considering buying an investment property here in my market of Surrey, so that then they too can find this video and realize that cash flow here in BC, well, it's simply just not a thing. Well, it is, but maybe more on that in just a minute. Because as I said, I'm getting nonstop calls right now from people who have saved enough to possibly buy an investment property. And now that they have that money saved, they want to start earning some of that sweet, sweet passive income. I mean, who can blame them? They've probably watched someone here on YouTube tell them all about the traditional investment property metrics of cap rates and cash flow. Cap rate, by the way, is a metric assuming that you don't have any debt on the asset, which in real estate is kind of laughable in the first place. But getting back to the story, naturally, one of my first questions to any prospective investor after explaining the disclosure is, well, how much money have you managed to save? And almost to a T, that number, for some reason, is somewhere around $140,000, or what they think, and correctly so, is enough for a down payment on a property somewhere between $650,000 and $700,000. More often than not, these prospective investors are high-income earners that already have the appropriate pre-approval from a bank. So it appears that yes, they do have the ability to become landlords and start cashing in. But although they are qualified and technically, yes, they can make a purchase, one thing this prospective property won't do for them is generate income. You see, investors in BC since about the early 2000s have taken an appreciation approach to the market rather than them looking at cash flow. Try and think of it for a second like stocks. Sure, you can go ahead and buy a Canadian bank stock or an energy stock, and that stock is probably going to pay you a dividend somewhere between, I don't know, 4 and maybe 6%. However, if you buy a tech stock or maybe even invest in a startup, they are going to pay you absolutely nothing. And the long-term hopes for that investment is that it will be worth more and substantially more in the future when you do decide to sell. Now, when you apply this to real estate, a lot of people are going to call this speculation. And I'm going to have to agree with that statement. Generally speaking, when you are working in major centers to invest in real estate, you are speculating that no, you're not going to have a cash flow situation. And indeed, you are hoping that the asset grows in the future for the time when you go to sell it or refinance. But the definition of investment is the action or process of investing money for profit or material result. Meaning that if you like it or not, the speculation that the asset grows in value is technically an investment. So sure, you could go ahead and invest in the Royal Bank of Canada, or you could invest in Apple. Neither is right or wrong. Neither is guaranteed to make you rich unless you have a time machine. But if in this analogy, the Royal Bank is Calgary and, well, Apple is Vancouver, well, you had better understand the pros and cons of each. And that is what prompted me to make this video today, so you can see the real life examples of how much you will really have to pay if you decide to go the way of the tech stock. I mean, real estate. Well, I mean, Greater Vancouver and Surrey Real Estate. So let's start off with some real life examples. Now, recently I saw a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit in the Surrey neighborhood of Whalley, that's downtown Surrey, closer to the 108th and King George corridor. The purchase price was $525,000, and assuming you have around that $140,000 to put down, well, that monthly mortgage cost, given a 5.1% fixed term rate amortized over 30 years, would cost you somewhere around $2,090 per month, and that is just for the mortgage. Then add the expenses of property taxes at $131.87 per month, strata insurance of approximately $50 per month, and then the strata maintenance fee of another $293.31. Well, then your carrying cost for this property would be $2,565.18. And although rents are going up and this number is totally conservative, I would expect to likely rent out that particular unit for about $2,200 a month, meaning that your income property would in fact be running a shortfall of $365.18 per month, or $4,382.16 per year. Oh, and don't forget about that pesky transfer tax and lawyer's fees to add to the initial purchase price, requiring an additional $10,500 or so in order to close. So in scenario number 1 for your potential investment property, you put down as much as 26% of a down payment and you are still cash flowing negative. But on the other hand, you are paying off at least $454.11 per month of principal on the very first month, and that gradually increases up to $583.21 by the time you pay your 60th month payment at the end of your first 5 years. Meaning that the longer you own the home, the more your tenant pays down your debt. And then at the end of the first 5 years, you have a balance on your mortgage of $354,039.05, meaning that if rents don't increase at all over the first 5 years, you would have paid about $21,000 out of your own pocket, but your mortgage would have reduced by about $30,000, meaning that your total gain is only about $9,000 for taking on all of that risk. However, the Surrey and Vancouver investor, for that matter, hopes that you have seen growth over that time period of which you've owned the property. The average yearly increase here in my market of the Fraser Valley across all asset types is 6.6% annually since 1980. So if that trend continues, and it's not guaranteed, but there's a very good chance your condo might be worth $702,500 when it comes time to renew. But again, there is no guarantee of that growth, so you had better be aware of the risk. But now let's move on to example number 2, this time a 2-bed, 2-bath near King George Station in Whalley. The sale price of this unit was $580,000 with the same $140,000 down, again at 5.1% for 30 years. That would result in a mortgage of $23.88 per month, taxes of $160.68. Again, insurance around that $50 mark, but the strata on this particular unit was $448.40. And your total carrying costs of this unit would then be $3,047.08 per month, and that unit would likely only rent out for about $24.50, meaning that this investment property at 24% down still costs you $597.08 per month.
That's out of your pocket.
Or an additional $7,164.96 per year, with approximate closing costs around another $11,600. So not only do these investments with $140,000 down not cash flow, property number 1 would require a 39% down payment before it even starts to break even, and property number 2 would require a 43% down payment. And again, this is only the break-even point. And all of my math here is assuming that you are now then not borrowing the $140,000 down payment off of something like a line of credit, which would probably cost you another $840 per month. So if you are looking for an investment property here in my market of Surrey or the Fraser Valley, make sure you know what you are getting into, because the real estate market here follows that age-old saying of it takes money to make money. And markets like Greater Toronto and Greater Vancouver are not cash flow markets. They are growth markets. However, there's one thing that does for sure happen, and that is rents go up over time. So in the event that your tenant does move on every year and a half to 2.5 years, there's a really good chance your new tenant coming on would make the numbers a lot more palatable, as long as interest rates don't go up and you don't do something that I consider to be foolish and work with some sort of a variable rate mortgage. So what I've told you here today might sound like doom and gloom, but let me tell you, I myself am a condo investor here in the city of Surrey. And that investment has grown faster than any other investment that I have ever made. And I truly believe that real estate is the best investment you can make, even if it costs you hundreds of dollars a month to get your foot in the door. Now, I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but after hearing all about how much real estate investors are losing each month and you still want to get into the market, well, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below at a time that works best for you. Thank you so much for subscribing, clicking the like button, and we'll see you in a couple of days.